Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another time here. Welcome to another time in the upper room. Another privilege and opportunity to pray. Thanks for coming. We've been doing a study through the book of Proverbs as we lead ourselves in a place of prayer. We're presently reading in Proverbs chapter 7, and we're looking at the topic, the wiles of the evil one. We've looked at on the fourth one on the wiles of the evil one. We've looked at simple-mindedness, naivety. We looked at lack of understanding. We're presently looking at irresponsibility, and we're trying to build that up. And we'll take that from Proverbs chapter 7, verse 8 and 9, seeing the irresponsibility of the man that was run rioted by the harlot. Again, that man is an archetype of every single one of us. If we allow any of these wiles in our life, then we will be made a mismeal by the devil. The devil loves people that are simple-minded. It loves people that are naive. It loves people that lack understanding. It loves people that are irresponsible. When we're irresponsible, then we make ourselves available to the devil. As it were, we are tempting the devil when any of these wiles is found in our life. We as it were open the door, we break the edge, and the serpent can bite us. When we're simple-minded, we're breaking the hedge. When we are naive, we're breaking the hedge. When we lack understanding, we're breaking the hedge. When we're irresponsible, we're breaking the edge. As it were, we're inviting the devil to attack us and have, mastery over us. Again, it is that place in the Lord's Prayer that says, deliver us from evil. When we allow the wiles in our life, we're saying, God, subject me to evil, not deliver me from evil. When we don't have the wiles, when we guide against the wiles of the evil one in our life, then we're truly making that prayer to God, say, God, deliver me from evil. When we don't, we're saying, God, subject me to evil. It's all up to us. We create the environment that rules over our life. You know, Again, still building on responsibility here. Initially I want to take it from talking about irresponsibility, but I'm just feeling that it's best to talk about responsibility first, then we'll look at what responsibility is not. And we've looked at two scriptures. We've looked at Genesis chapter 2:15. We looked at Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. 2:15 tells us that God gave Adam responsibility, and the same way he has given every one of us responsibility, right, to keep and to tend, the life that he has given us. Keep and to turn the life that he has given us, the talent he has given us, the strength he has given us, the giftings he has given us. There's a job for us to do. We'll see that more in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. It says that God has fashioned us. He has created us, not just for the sake of creating, but he created us, fashioned us to do good works, which he had hitherto appointed for us before we came onto the scene. God already finished the work. Like we know of God, God always finishes a thing before he starts. God already finished the reason of our creation. Then he brought us to fulfill the reason of our creation. So Ephesians chapter 2:10 says that God already pre-knew the good work he was bringing us onto the scene to do, and therefore he created us to be able to fulfill that good work, created us to fulfill that good work. The same is said of Jesus Christ. It said how Jesus was empowered by the Holy Ghost and power to do good works. He was empowered by the Holy Ghost, and power to do good works, He was here for a reason. He came according to the volume that was written concerning him. He came to fulfill purpose. He did not just come for the sake of coming. He did not come and then find purpose. Purpose was there before he came on the scene. Every single one of us also, we might not have come into this life with the how to do it, but we have come into this life with the what to do. What to do. Nobody comes here without a what to do. Nobody comes here without an assignment. Nobody comes here without a defined path, as it were. God would say in Jeremiah that the thoughts I have towards you are those of good, to give you an expected hand. Right? God already finished the work concerning every single one of us before we came on the scene. We are here to fulfill that which God already had written in his mind concerning us, but let's go ahead and pray. So we're still looking at the word responsibility, right? And maybe we'll just go into looking at some meanings of responsibility. If we've looked at the scriptures, getting some general idea about responsibility. I love the word responsibility. It's one word that came to light, as I read the 7 habits of highly effective people that's built on responsibility. Stephen Covey, goes a long way to explain the fact that between impulse and rest and what we do, there is a gap, right? And Victor, what's his name? Victor Frankl, tells us that the last of human endowment is our ability to decide, right? Our ability to decide, whatsoever we do, it is nobody's responsibility. It's because we choose to do it. Nobody forces us to do anything. Only irresponsible people will have the excuse that someone made them do something. Everything we do not do is because we chose not to do it, right? Not because someone forced us, because that the last of human endowment is our ability to decide. We can decide to be used by people, or we can decide to be useful. It's our decision. Recently, I learned that in such a powerful way. Someone wanted something from me, right? He wanted me to help him in some way, that somehow I wanted to give it just to help him. But somehow something deep inside of me did not agree with that. Something deep inside of me felt that the person was trying to use me, rather than the person had other options. Something deep inside of me felt that giving that person what he wanted was going to be a waste, was going to be like me throwing away money, right? Not sowing into someone's life, but throwing away money because someone thinks that I have money I don't have, or I don't know what to do with it. I struggled with it for a while because this person, like a lot of people are close to me, I joke with them, I relate with them, and in one sense of me was feeling pity, on the person. Another part of me just felt giving that quantum of money, might affect other things I want to do, So I struggled with it. And something told me that if I do it, I'm going to, as it were, uh, take away, it will somewhat not allow God to bless me. It will be something that will be standing in the way of God blessing me, because God will not see me as responsible, by doing that. It was a simple act, but something deep inside of me told me that it was a test of my heart before God. It was a test of my responsibility in the managing of the resources that God has put into my hands, and I had to make that seeming difficult decision to say no, right? No, I guess saying no, as much as I teach about saying no and encourage people to say no, it's not the easiest of things for me to say because I'm an impact. I kind of feel people's emotions for them. It's both a strength and a weakness. It helps me to be able to love people, but it can also help me make me a prisoner to people's emotion, right? So it's something I'm having to learn about myself, and I'm having to gain better control of it over time. But responsibility is taking ownership of the resources that have been entrusted into your hands. You don't just give it because one drunk pastor is asking for money, you are responsible for that which God has put into your hands. It doesn't matter how long the message is. You have to be sure that what you are giving is what God will have you give. God will be pleased with it, and you are giving it to glorify God, not to make somebody somewhere happy, right? The first person to make happy is God. If by making someone happy does not make God happy with me, God cannot look down and say, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased, then I'm wasting, I'm throwing away resources, I'm dissipating energy, right? It is not a sowing, it's a wasting of resource, right? That was important for me. It was pivotal for me, and I learned a lot from that, and ties back to being responsible. I'm responsible for my future. I'm responsible for my present. I'm responsible for my past, right? I cannot blame my past on anything. It's part of my story. It's what has made me me. I am who I am because of the past I have, right? not in spite of it, but because of it. My past has made me. It's my foundation. It's my story. It determines the number of people that are behind me as I talk. When I talk, I'm not just speaking alone. I'm speaking about the strength, the virtue of all the people that have invested in my life. My time is up. We'll continue to next week. Do have a great weekend. God bless you. Thanks for coming along with me. God bless you as we close November and go into December and prepare for the year 2025. May you finish this year strong, and may 2025 be your best